we're starting,
the joke,
right?
so I'm gonna slide these in the beginning like it never happened.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I did forget that. Okay. I got joke. Okay, so for this video, I feel like it's only fitting that we do some Corvette jokes, okay? And I got to make up for the last video because we didn't do a joke at all in that video.
No.
I felt like the Corvette was the joke in that video.
Ba-dum-bum.
Okay, so what's the worst part? No. What's the hardest part about driving your Corvette?
The ladder bar system.
Oh, no, not my Corvette.
Oh.
Trying not to get your gold chain stuck in your chest hair.
Ew. Gross.
You know, because like they're always driving around with their shirt untucked or their buttons unbuttoned, showing off their hamburger meat.
Ew.
What's the difference between a Red Corvette and a Porcupine?
You got me.
The Corvette has its pricks on the inside.
For real.
For real. I don't have another one. I had another one. Oh yeah, I do have one. What do red Corvettes and hemorrhoids have in common?
Oh boy.
Eventually, every asshole gets one.
Oh my god. That's you.
There's so many red Corvette jokes. It's insane. Hola. ¿Qué pasó? We're in Mexico. Mexico. You like my new battery charger?
Yeah.
Fancy, huh?
That thing's nice.
Turns out we didn't have a battery charger for 12 volt. So last time we were out here, I lowered the ladder bars, but it took too long. The dude came in, we got screwed, couldn't make a hit. Came back out tonight, it's dry. We just made the first hit, way better already. Like, I'm having so much fun. Because all I can think about is like, I'm supposed to be really good at this tuning thing, but without a laptop, you never know. So, but this car's, I'm having fun. And I'm learning a lot about ladder bars. So, I moved the ladder bars down all the way into the bottom hole, which was a trick that Steve Petty told me to do 100 years ago when I had my white card. And it seemed to work great. I tightened the shocks, and I tightened the front shocks, but it even picked the front end up, but you could hear it smashed the tire down still because ladder bars, but you could hear it when it picked the front end up. When it got to the end of the travel, you could hear the tires squeal. So it's like it just kind of, and then it went back down, and then it picked it back up, and it again. So I'm gonna try and slow the front end down since we don't have any more travel. If we had more travel, you know, like all them guys do, it would have kept coming up, and then it would have just rode out perfectly. So I could either put 50 pounds in the trunk and it would do the same thing, or I can try and tighten the front end and slow it down so that it makes it through there while it's still coming up. So I'm gonna try and slow the front end down, and I tightened the extension on the rear shocks 3 clicks because it's smashing hard, but we're about out of adjustment on the rear shocks. But hopefully we get to make one more pass before
all these people come to work.
Yeah, before all the people come to work. I wish I could take some pinion angle out of it, but we don't have time. So I tightened up the shocks in the front and the rear. I'm gonna put as much fuel as I can in it, and then I'm gonna raise the launch RPM 400. And hopefully it's either going to, by raising the launch RPM 400, hopefully it's either going to get a little bit of slip at the release of the button, or if the converter is like a soft hit deal, then it's just going to cram the tire down harder and move out. But hopefully it maybe gets a little bit of wheel speed before it drives the tire, but I don't know. I think with that shock as tight as it is, or as loose as it is, even all the way tight, I just don't think we're gonna be able to do it with that. But man, how much fun is this?
So fun.
Huh?
So fun.
You just put fuel in it and turn knobs.
Yeah, we don't got no training cooler.
I mean, dude, anybody who is considering
buying a Corvette, street racing it with their young girlfriend, he gives it a 10 out of 10 review.
Anybody that is considering getting an old dirt diggler Corvette and going out and goofing off with it, I can promise you it's the best 10 grand you'll ever spend. We're getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere now. How'd it feel? You're fine. You don't need to be running all the way to the fucking half mile out here anyway. Hey, it fucking looked good. It's way better, man. We can work with that. Now we're just a nitrous kid away. Here, come here. feel like I'm in high school again. Look, stand right here. At least striping the old Hoosiers on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are. We are going to try and make some hits tonight, and hopefully everything goes good. No water, no cops, no anything. Hopefully we're solid, because this is probably the last chance we get at making hits before Christmas, and well, this video has to come out tomorrow anyway, so we're hoping we get to make some hits tonight, because we really want to improve, because the car has to come up. We have to take this car completely apart and start building it and doing all the upgrades to it, and we have to do that really soon, like in the next few days. So we really need to, but I don't want to give up until the car has shown, because I want to, I want to make it faster than it was the first day. That's the whole plan. The whole plan is we get a baseline, we know what it runs, what it weighs, and
Hey, there's your pink shoes. Bro.
it's still here. What? How is that
What
even
the heck?
possible?
And it's full and everything.
It's full.
Wow.
Wow. So anyway, I'd like to get, because we do the baseline run. We did that the first time to see what it ran, and like the very first pass, it went like 158, and it was like 430 something to the 330, and it ended up running like, I want to say it was 650 or 660, maybe 670 to the 8th mile on the draggy. And while that's good, that's okay or whatever for what it is for an all-motor stock ass car, but in my opinion, judging by, it was spinning the tire pretty good, and it had a few little issues, like the front bowl, it didn't have a crossover thing for the fuel vent on the bowl, so it sloshed. So like it left kind of hard and was spinning the tires, but then once it hooked, it sloshed water out, or sloshed water.
Water.
It sloshed fuel out the top of the fuel bowl vent and dumped it into the carburetor. So it launched okay, it was spinning the tires, and then as soon as it started to hook, it bogged and slowed way down and then took off. So I have done, now none of this is like, we haven't done any like super awesome upgrades. Like, it's just, we haven't really changed anything on the car or added anything or anything like that. I just took a spark plug wire boot and stuck it on top of the fuel bowl vent, so
Nice.
it can't slosh out into the carburetor no more. So
Real nice.
we're basically just doing little stuff and making adjustments to try and see if we can make the car run as best as it possibly can in the configuration that it already has. So we adjusted the ladder bars all the way down in the bottom hole in the front. And which way is the wind blowing tonight? I need to park the
Do I
trailer.
look like a meteorologist?
Oh my gosh. You don't have to be a fucking meteorologist to know which way the goddamn wind is blowing. Come on.
I'm a goddamn videographer.
Yeah, you went to school for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I'm really
it
just a
says
street. I'm a street racer. Boy.
it says that the wind is. How can you tell in here which way the wind is blowing?
Oh boy.
Oh, it looks like it's blowing from the.
That's southeast, brother.
Hmm? It looks like it's blowing from the northwest, right? Huh? Is that correct or no?
I don't know.
Is that what that little arrow means?
I'm not a meteorologist. It's blowing that way though, which would be southeast.
Yeah, so it's blowing this way, right?
Yeah, which is southeast.
Okay, so we need to turn the trophy trailer around so that we can stay out of the wind. Correct, Demundo?
Yeah, because
It's 33 degrees.
degrees.
It's 33 degrees outside,
It
guys.
says long live Dove.
It's what?
Long live Dove.
Yeah. So icy Christmas. East Atlanta Santa. Oh.
I brought these bad boys. Wow.
Let me think. Shit. We can actually use these.
We can make changes.
Yeah, we can tune the car, bro.
This is a laptop in a plastic case, you know?
Huh?
It's like a laptop in a plastic case. You don't need scissors. You can pop this thing open.
Really?
Yeah, that's not a skill.
Oh, wow. You know, old people stuff, I'm just not used to it.
Yeah, old people don't want to have to break out their pocket knife for it, you know? I'm gonna end up making a file things. Like that. Oh, you gotta be gentle with them though. What if they break?
What? They break?
Yeah, those things can break.
For real?
Yeah!
What?
How sturdy do you think those are?
Oh.
It was like $20 for these.
Are you gonna put this on the sticker on your car, on your Cadillac? It's equipped with one of the following. Carb executive. That's you.
me. That's what it says on my name tag.
What kind of RPM do you think that little motor will take that's in this Corvette?
We should try all of them.
Huh.
What's it go to? 78? What's in it?
I think 7,000's in it now.
Maybe go to like 76.
There you go.
And then we have
That's
one
my
more
girl.
up and 2 less if we need to.
That's my girl. 76. because
Oh my gosh, can we put it on the record that this is the first time you have ever admitted it and not said maybe, or it seems like,
no,
or
I've always said you can drive.
you said I think you can, or it seems like you can, or
It does seem like you can
I'm
drive.
going on record to say this is the first time that none of those words were used first.
Oh God, whatever. Well, so I think we found a weak point in this old Corvette, and I think it's fixable. You know what I mean? It just would take. It really needs. I really need to take the rear part and align the rear. Is what
Basically
really needs
work
to-
on it.
Yeah, I really need to work on it. I need to align the rear. I need to, I need to really just go through everything because something's not right in the rear. So we didn't really notice it we didn't notice it too much anyway. Whenever we were first making hits in it, because it was spinning pretty good. We had everything tightened way up. So hey, there you go. There you go. We got some lights. So we didn't notice it before because we weren't really leaving super hard. We had everything really tight because we didn't want it to wheelie. So we had, extension and compression, everything really tight. We had the front end tightened all the way down. But I like to use all the travel. So a lot of people will they'll crank the travel limiter or whatever down so it doesn't have any travel. I like to use the shock. I like to use all the travel and just use the shock to slow it down. So, wow, it's weird with the lights on. We've been out here all night with no lights. So, I feel like a vampire.
That's me every day.
But the first few passes we've made in the car, it did okay. You had to correct a little bit, but it was spinning a little bit, and I don't know how old the tires are. I don't know.
Probably older than me.
Wouldn't
It just
take
kind of
much.
seemed like you had to
Wouldn't take
drive
much,
it,
huh?
It just kind of seemed like you had to drive it.
You had to drive it just about every pass, but it wasn't like, unmanageable or nothing. So, but then, obviously, so we've been doing, shock adjustments, and we dropped the front of the ladder bars 2 holes or whatever, and so what used to happen with the car was when we had the ladder bar up, and when we bought it, it had the ladder bar up in one of the middle to higher holes, and so when you do that, what happens is when you put power, so when you let go of the button, it sends power to the rear. The rear end tries to rotate up, so the pinion tries to go to the sky. That motion, because every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So we're going to turn this into a technical video here.
Oh, buddy.
This is for the guys who are trying to make their cars work on the street with a regular, small block Chevrolet and a carburetor and a old ladder bar car. So,
Or just anyone that wants to listen to you.
or just anyone that wants to listen to my rambling at 4 in the morning. So, every action has equal and opposite reaction. I don't know who said that. Einstein or Newton
Big Chief.
or Big Chief or Colt or somebody. Anyway, so when the tires go this way, the rear end goes the opposite way. It tries to go this way. Tires go this way, rear end tries to go that way. So the pinion tries to go around our circle this way. Well, you hook suspension components to that, whether it be a 4-link or a ladder bar.
Looks like you're doing the rock and roll thing.
Huh? Yeah.
Looks like you're doing it.
Well, that's the 4-link. The 4-link is the rock and roll.
Yeah.
The ladder bar is just a one deal.
It's a shooter.
If you
Oh, I don't know if that word's allowed. Whoa, no,
What?
don't do that. I don't think that's allowed
Oh.
on YouTube. We never did that.
Well, if you have a torque arm, it's like this, and it's just one, and it goes like this. So
And then independent rear is just
independent
is a hot
rear
mess.
is like this, and it goes.
And they're working independently the entire time.
If you have leaf springs, they go like this. I don't really know how that works. I don't know how that works.
Okay.
But anyway, so you hook ladder bars to the rear end. You hook it to the chassis with a ladder bar cross member, and then when that pinion tries to rotate to the sky, you use that motion to hook the car basically. So the ladder bars are hooked to the chassis. So when the pinion tries to rotate, the ladder bars smash the tire into the ground. You know what I mean? And it's an exceptional way to do it, and it works really good, especially on, you know, total shit roads. I mean, on an asphalt road or back of the track or whatever you think about it. I mean, yeah, the 4-link gives you a million different options on, you know, what intersect points and holes and all that stuff you want to do. And, you know, you could do it like this, or, you know, you could do whatever you want. You can take the lower bar and point it down, and you can make the chassis squat. Or you can point it up and you can make the chassis separate. But with a ladder bar, you just get smashed. That's all it does. It Hulk smashes on the tire. So, but when it's up in the higher holes, it's just doing that. That's all it's doing. It's not even really lifting up on the car. It's not even really using much of the car, the weight of the car. It's not using much of the weight of the car as leverage to smash the tire. So it's mainly just using, you know, the back half of the car to do this. Well, when you lower those suckers down into the bottom holes or further as far as you can get them, well then, I mean, it's scooping, and it's scooping the whole car, and it'll pick the, you know, it'll try and pick the whole car up. And the lower you can get them and the longer you can get them, the more leverage you get. So like when they're here, it's just a smash, and then all of its leverage is done, and you're just driving down the track like that. But when you get them down here, it uses more leverage for longer to apply the tire. So first time we took it out, it would smash the tire, it'd come back up and it'd spin and it was moving around all over the place. Well then, you know, we were lowering that down, trying to get it to smash and stay smashed. And man, you know, just doing that and making shock adjustments and giving it some travel in the front, it made a big difference. The car was much, much faster. You know, we ended up getting it to go at 640 or whatever on motor, no nitrous, whatever. But it still had just, and you will hear it in the video when you watch the video of the car. It hooked initially, it picked the front end up, and it rolled in it, and it almost made the whole trip with no spin, but it waffled the tire twice. So you just skirt, and it was gone. That was a good lick. But tonight, we were trying to get it to hook the whole way. Well, unfortunately, we got the thing hooking pretty good, but we start turning up the launch RPM, and we start making that sucker work, and all of a sudden, a new giant problem has showed up. You know, she let go of the button, and that thing hooked, and I mean, it picked the front end up and went straight right, like instantaneously right. And I had been telling her all night, if it wheelies, it doesn't have enough power to, like, you know, probably flip over unless it climbs the ring gear. So I said, if it drives out there into a wheelie, I said, just reach over, shift it, and stay in it, and it will come down. But this happened so fast that if she would have tried to stay in it, she would have wadded it up. She'd have hit the curb.
I hit that tree right in front of us.
She'd have hit the tree. Like,
I didn't feel like it was a wheelie though. I feel like there's a difference between picking up the tire and it going hard right and then wheeling.
No, I don't think. No, that's just the thing. It wasn't like a wheelie, like a power wheelie or nothing like that. It's just with no lights on in the car. It's super dark out there, so a lot of other people would have thought, oh, this is a wheelie, because the front end came up really fast, and they would have thought this is just a wheelie, no big deal, smack it into second, and they'd have drove it right off the curb. Probably barrel rolled it 20 times. But I'm very proud of you, because somehow you knew enough about your situation and where you were at, and you knew enough about driving a race car that when you let go of the button and it did that, you knew that it was too far right to stay in it, and it was too quick of a move. So
Yeah, it didn't even like roll out and then go right. It was literally like it leaned back and turned right.
Right, which makes me think it has, just off, just what I'm thinking initially is, I think that the rear end is crooked in the car. I think the passenger side is sucked up in the car, or the driver's side is laid back in the car. So I think that the rear end is like this in the car, and what that does is,
Which is also called.
well, in that car it's called a problem.
Yeah,
It's
but
called
in your
crooked.
car.
But
In
if
big
you
tire
do
cars.
that in a big tire or in a pro mod or whatever, if you do that in a car like my car, that's called rear steer, and we actually use that to make cars go straight. So in a car like mine, it makes so much power, and I know there's going to be guys watching this that make more power. Hell, the guy who used to own this car is probably watching this, and he makes way more horsepower than I do, and he's been way faster than I ever have. But so he's probably going, oh yeah, the Chief's car makes so much horsepower.
Or there's gonna be the people that are like, you always claim that you have a pump motor, it don't make no horsepower.
Well, so yeah, I'm not bragging here. What I'm saying is, in a car like mine that makes enough horsepower that it will always drive the right rear tire harder. It's just physics. So the rotation of the motor, the torque of the motor torquing over in the chassis, you get that along with the drive shaft trying to turn the rear end, and like we say, equal and opposite reaction. So if the drive shaft is trying to turn the rear end this way, then the rear end is trying to turn this way, you know what I mean? So you get that, you also get the roll of the four-link, and one side digs harder than the other, and so everything in a car like mine is trying to rotate the car over this way. Well, when it does that, it drops the lower four-link, it drops the four-link bracket on the passenger side down because it torques over this way. When it does that, you get more leverage, more bite basically in the passenger rear tire, and it will try to drive the car left. It's indoor cars, it's a big issue. Even a Jerry Bickle car that has all of the amazing stiffeners and the big crazy double frame rail and all the things that he does, and the giant anti-roll bar, like all the things that they do to try and keep the car from torquing over and driving left, there's just not much you can do. It's still going to do that. So what you do is, in a car like mine, or what a lot of people do, is they use rear steer. So they take the rear end and they cock it in the car this way. And what that does is, when you let off the button, it snaps while the two front tires are on the ground. It snaps the car straight. So the four-link brackets, the same way they do this, if you put them this way, it will, when you let off the button, it tries to snap the car. So it takes the whole chassis, it tries to snap it to the right. So like a forklift, basically, it wraps the car to the right. Well, then the car drives left inherently. So after it snaps it to the right, it drives out left, sits right down in the groove and goes. It's a delicate balance of rear steer, of how much and not enough and whatever. So, but basically, what happens in a car like mine is you put a little bit of rear steer in it, it snaps it over to the right, then it drives out to the left, and then as the power starts to flatten out, the car lands in the groove and it just goes right down Broadway. And if you ever watch pro mods or anything from the big end on a camera, really good camera from the top side, you can see them as they're coming towards you. Whenever they let off the button, they'll snap to the right just a little bit, and then they'll drive out to the left. It's amazing to watch if you're a pro mod fan like I am. But anyway, back to this 400 horsepower ladder bar car. Mm-hmm. So with the rear end being cocked like that, and I'm talking like it must be a pretty dramatic. So with it being that far to the right, I think that's what it is. When she let off the button, it just instantly snapped it to the right, and then it doesn't have enough power to drive it out to the left. But it happened so fast it wouldn't work anyway.
It's got like the 4,000 snap, but the 400 horsepower.
Right. But what's weird is when we bought the car, it was a straight driving car. We didn't have any issue with it. So I'm wondering if maybe when I dropped the the front ladder bar, when I dropped the front bolts down, I'm wondering if that didn't pull one side or push one side. I'm wondering if that was ladder bar brackets on the front, if maybe they're not, you know, straight or true. So when I dropped it down, you know, maybe one side dropped down further than the other or whatever. So I don't know. It was a quick deal in the parking lot when I dropped them down. I didn't make any adjustments. So I'm sure, I'm definitely not saying it's that guy's fault. I'm sure it's my fault somehow or another. I screwed this whole deal up,
But it's all coming out of the car anyway, so we were just messing with it, you know.
Yeah, it sucks because it's all coming out of the car.
Well,
but,
I mean, it might come out, you never.
But you know, no, it is all coming out of the car. But it still sucks because, you know, I'm so crazy about making things go and go fast, and so it's I'm gonna have to start taking it apart right now, or else it's gonna go in the shop and I'm gonna scale and align the whole damn car, and you know.
Basically, we were looking at our data logger. We'll show them.
Yeah, so since we don't have an actual data logger or shock sensors.
Yeah, I sacrificed this poor GoPro and all of the pinches on it for this data. But
so this is what we're looking at here. So as you can see, let's see if I can get this
turn
brought
this light on.
right here.
That's not the one. Hold on.
Okay, how do you brighten this rig?
I think that's as bright as it goes.
No way. Alright, here we go. So, if you look at what we got going on here, so as you can see, this spanner's ran up already more than that one, which I know a lot of people are going to look at this and they're going to say, well, there's the problem. You got more spring on this side, so it's going to plant this tire harder and it's going to drive it to the left. But
The right.
huh?
The right.
Or yeah, this it's going to plant this tire harder and it's going to drive it to the right. But that's not the issue. Trust me, it was way worse than that. We brought it down, but we had it on the scales before we left the shop, and it was dead on all the way around. So it wasn't like this is the issue. The corner weights in the car just made it like this, and there's no coilovers in the front to adjust, so you can't adjust corner weights there. So it was just done with this. But anyway, so what you'll notice here is when she lets go of the button and the rear end, you know, the ladder bars smash the rear end down to the ground. They smash the tire. You can almost see it just take the whole car that way.
So he's talking about this, like watch this and watch this.
Yeah, you can see these will smash down. Doesn't that whole thing sound good though? It sounds killer. She pedaled it and got back in it like she was racing. Just so y'all know, this is a test session. There's no one out here but us. Literally by ourselves here. And she pedaled it and got back in it like she was racing somebody. It's nice to have somebody in the seat that if it goes right, they'll get it straight and get back in it to try and see if it does it again, to see if there's a different problem. But I'm not so sure that that's why you did it.
Well, I mean, I
almost
always
think you did it just because that's what you do. For some reason, I'm always tuning on somebody's car that's like this, whether it's Flip or you or Sean. You guys have always been, it's always been that way. No matter what you're doing, no matter who's in the lane next to you, there could be absolutely nobody. It could be a car that you don't even care about, that you just got in, and still yet, you're gonna jack the throttle and get it back, and you're gonna get back in it. I don't know why it sounds better when you're fucking moving around.
What?
I don't know why it sounds better when you're moving it around, because when I was pulling it in and out of the trailer, it don't sound like that.
Likes me better.
Starting to get used to that. Yep, we're on our way back to the shop. after another unsuccessful test session. We have gotten to a point with the vet where it needs work, to be honest. We could always, it was raceable the way it was. I could put it back the way it was and go race with it, but it's really not fast enough to be competitive in small tire around here. You know, it might go 1 or 2 rounds in the no trailer crash day stuff, but it ain't. It's just not fast enough to win anything right now. So we had fun with it. We learned a little bit, and we got to go out and make some hits, and it was a good damn time. And we know more about the car now than we did before. So that's the cool part, is that when we go to build this car and we go to actually do stuff to make it competitive, is we already kind of know where we're at with it, and we know what it likes and what it doesn't like. So, you know, we can make the right decisions and the right changes instead of just throwing a bunch of parts at it or whatever. So we're going to try and keep this deal budget friendly, and we're going to put a little bit more horsepower in it, and it'll probably stay ladder bar though, just because it's a challenge, but it's also kind of cool.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to put a feather in this deal.
Yeah, we're kind of out of time on this deal, and we need to go do our next job. Until we come back to this job.
Yep. So we're calling it at 6:40. You know.
Yeah.
6:40.
Solid 6:40.
Yeah. But it went 6:40 at like 87 mile an hour. So you were off the gas clearly, but
I don't think I've went through the finish line under power in that car.
No, not at all. But
or went a whole pass without pedaling it at some point, but it's still fun, and it's definitely a good time.
It was for sure a good time. So, and man, it's, you know, that little motor is just solid. Like, we have done literally, taking the valve covers off of it, and we're just out beating the snot out of it.
I mean, you made sure it had oil in it, so.
It does have oil in it.
Or it did. We haven't checked it since that time, but.
I mean, there was still some on the trailer floor when we got there, so.
Yeah.
Obviously, it still got some in it, but.
It was fun.
It was fun. We're gonna call it at where we're at, and we are going to we're gonna start working on it and actually do some real modifications to it to make it more competitive. I think that car is going to turn out to be a really competitive on a less than stellar surface. And that's one of the things about ladder bars that I kind of learned over the years with my own stuff, was that if you put them on a really good surface with a bunch of rubber down, you're going to have problems. But I don't think that we're going to be racing that car where there's going to be a bunch of rubber down. You know what I mean? It's going to be an asphalt type deal. So
yeah.
But now it's time to move on to our other projects, and we have to go to work, and we have to get ready for America's List, which is
quickly approaching.
Very quickly approaching. But what's cool is every time we do something like this, every time we move on to another deal or a different project, or we do something that's out of our normal thing, like whenever we were trying to get the record with Caddy Jack, you know, the stock Cadillac record, and we were trying to go 8s with stock training and stock motor and stock differential and all that stuff. Like, every time we do that, we learn something that translates over to the fast car.
Oh.
What? I didn't mean it like that.
The fast car?
You know what I mean.
Whatever.
I didn't want to say my. Oh, I didn't want to say my car because I felt like that would make me sound like a prick. But
you said the fast one, not Caddy Jack, the fast one.
Okay. You know what I meant. So
walk around and find out.
Yeah, it's kind of scary because Caddy Jack actually has the potential now that
Put some 28th on your fast car and catch me on some no prep and see what happens, bro.
I know better. I know better. I ain't putting 28s on my car and getting smacked around by Caddy Jack. Nope.
I'll purge it over your head.
Oh, wow. Listen to you getting cocky. You keep talking shit, and I will put 28s on that fucking thing, and I will show you what a fucking fast car can do on 28s.
I wish you would. You smoke the tires.
You and everybody else will.
I've seen your car in 28s. Oh, that's why I don't know I know 28s.
Oh, my God. I'm going to kick your ass. You sound just like everybody else on the internet.
Ew, don't categorize me as those people. Anyway. This job is going from number 1 to number 2. Caddy Jack is still, unfortunately, in the number 3 spot because...
I'm about to order a set of 28s for my tube chassis car.
I wish you would.
And I'm really going to screw my shit up for America's List when I put 28s on it just to outrun Jackie.
You're going to show up, everyone's going to be on big time, and you're going to be like, I don't know. I got my feelings, okay?
But yeah, I don't know, guys. My ego got the best of me, and yeah.
I was scared of my girlfriend driving out of my life.
Yeah,
so.
I came here to outrun Caddy Jack, and is it not here?
It hasn't even fired yet, and you're scared.
I'm not scared. What the? Maybe a little scared. So anyway, yeah, it's time to get the GTO ready. We won't call it the fast car, okay? It's time to get the GTO ready for America's List. So we are going to revisit the Corvette when it is time to revisit the Corvette, and then hopefully by then I will be able to share a little bit more details of what that thing is going to do and what it's going to be, what we're building it for.
Yeah.
But until then, you guys will just have to figure it out.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And hopefully in the next video we will be testing the GTO on asphalt.
Asphalt.
The whole world.
Real deal, current day, in the
day.
cold, testing on asphalt.
Yeah. Not like everybody else's videos where they keep posting the same video from earlier this year of them testing on asphalt. No, this is going to be current testing on asphalt.
In the 30-degree freaking weather.
Yeah, but you know, I think it's time to remind everyone who is street and who ain't street.
Yeah, buddy.
And I want to thank
I can't
you.
see you at all.
What? You can't see me? Why not? What about that? Does that help? No. What
I'm
if I
gonna
go up
send
here?
by you.
Look, what if I go up here? Does that help?
Yeah, Blair Witch.
Blair Witch. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
I cannot stress this enough to everyone that watches our videos, to everyone that comments on our videos. We have, we've really pushed this, YouTube thing on all you guys, and we had no idea just how amazing you were. We had no idea how awesome you guys would be, and
the support and the love,
the support
and
that you've given us, and it's just, man, I feel like I'm gonna cry if I talk about it, but look at all this BHT on my arm.
Now you know what it's like to be a crew chief. After all your races, you're like, why are you so dirty?
Yeah, I do. After we get done racing, I'm always like, how did you get it on your face?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I cannot thank you guys enough. That last video has just, we're always trying to figure out what it is that works. What do you guys want, and what it is that you want to see, and what is it that you'll support, and how do we get more people interested in, like,
how do they be YouTubers, basically?
Yeah.
How do you do YouTube?
Wow, that must have been in here for a while, but Yeah, we're always trying to figure out, how do you do YouTube? How do you become better at it? Everything we do, we want to be really good at it. We want to be successful. And man, I had no idea, man. You guys are fucking awesome.
Yeah, buddy.
That last video,
we have the best friends.
Is like, it was at what, 100,000 views in a few hours, you know. And I think it's like almost 300,000 views right now in a week. It's only been up for a week, less than a week.
All of them have really amazing views and support, and especially because we haven't been here very long, so we are incredibly grateful for all of y'all.
Yes, and trust me, we try to get better with everyone. I know that right now it really doesn't seem that way because I'm sure the lighting and the audio sucks, but man, thank you guys, for real.
Yeah.
You literally make life worth living. You make all this worth doing. This, you know, it makes us excited to turn the camera on. It makes us excited to go do stuff for you guys, to go film stuff. Like,
and we try, no comment gets unnoticed. You know, we try to get to every single one of y'all and try to answer questions and talk to y'all and be as involved as we can with the time that we have.
yes, and even if it's negative feedback, we still respect it. And half the time we'll still reply to it. You know, I mean, we try really hard to show the positive comments, to give them our attention and our energy. And we try really hard to, because a lot of people, they read the comments and, if you get 100 of nice video, heck yeah, thanks man, glad you guys put this out, or this was awesome, or whatever. A lot of people just read those and keep scrolling, and then there'll be one that stands out that's like, you suck, or last time you smoked the tires, whatever, like, and then they'll only reply to those. But we try really, really hard to get to everybody's comments. And I know that there are times when me and Jackie will spend, Jackie and I, getting better. Jackie and I will spend hours before bed answering comments, and she will pin comments, and she will make notes and send me text messages with screenshots. If I'm at the shop working and she's working on the video at home, or if she's up in the office working on inventory or whatever, if she'll send me 100 comments for me to reply to that are technical, that she's not 100% sure of how I would answer it, or some of them are opinion based or whatever, and so she's like, you should answer this or answer that, and it will be hours that we take to respond to those. So we do that just to kind of show you guys that we're not just doing the YouTube thing for us or to grow our brand or whatever, because as you can tell, we're not really big we're not really big on our brand. We just want to go do hood rat stuff with race cars. So it's just amazing to see what you guys, we've always preached that street racing is it. Streets is it. We are streets, and the people, that's what they want to see, that's what they want to be a part of, that's what they like, that's what they do, is streets. And so you guys showed us, like, we got this small tire, small block, naturally aspirated Corvette that's like, nowhere near a 3-second car, or even a 4-second street race car.
It doesn't have thousands of horsepower.
It doesn't have twin turbos or EFI or none of that stuff.
Yeah, and it's not some car that everybody knew that came from someone crazy, like.
Yeah, it's
not just a car.
Even though it did come from somebody that's amazing, a lot of you guys wouldn't even understand that or know that, but like, to us,
it's not a known car, and y'all are still here supporting, even though it's not some crazy.
To us it really wasn't that much of a car. We thought, hey, we'll go out and we'll goof off with it, and it'll give us something to do, and it may be fun. But then we started messing with it, and we were having so much fun with that car, and all we could think about was, man, nobody's gonna care about this car because it's not a street outlaw car. You know what I mean? That's what everybody always thinks, like people only watch because we're on Street Outlaws, or people only care because we're on TV or whatever. But you know, that deal showed us, man, like a lipstick red Corvette with a 400 horsepower small block carbureted, you know, small block Chevy and a Power Glide. And dude, you guys showed up to watch that video, and that just goes to show us that it doesn't matter whether it's a street outlaw car or a big tire car or twin turbo or 3-second no prep car or whatever. All that matters is that we are doing what we love, and we're on the street with something cool, and we're having a good time, and that's what matters. And that makes me, my whole faith in humanity is restored. Like, it's freaking awesome, man. I love it. And I just wanted to say thank you guys, because it wouldn't be as fun if you guys didn't support it. You know what I mean? So, but don't get me wrong, we know you still love the GTO and you still want to see stuff from the GTO, but
and we're still gonna do that.
But this is kind of showing us that the stuff that you may want to see of the GTO, it may be a little bit more gritty and you know, and street, and I think that's awesome.
There it is.
There's one of the freaking crazy kitty cats.
He's like,
Anyway, that's enough of my rambling. I just wanted to say.
Yeah, don't start crying on us and stuff.
I just wanted to say thank you guys. You're amazing, and we will continue to bring you the best shit we can. So, you know, if you have a suggestion or if you want to see something cool, let us know. And we haven't gone so far as to like beg you guys to like and comment and subscribe and all that stuff, because you know, because we kind of feel like if we earned it, you'll do it. You know what I mean? If it's stuff that you want to see, if we're doing stuff that you want to see more of, you'll do that, you know? So that's what's so awesome, is all we have to worry about is being us and having fun and giving you what you want, and then you guys do the rest, and it's great. And the support you've shown us on the merch, you know, like, it's crazy. You guys are the most loyal fans ever. It's insane. I mean, you guys are buying merch like crazy, and you're commenting everywhere, and then it's trickling over to where now our YouTube guys and YouTube girls they're out there and they're on Facebook and they're defending us when people are talking shit about us everywhere. So, you know, people are just everywhere they're talking shit. I'll go in and I'll try and read it on the, you know, the fan pages and stuff on Facebook or whatever, and there'll be people on there from the YouTube thing that I recognize their names, and they're just in there like, you don't know nothing, because they, you know, they've got the scoop because they watch the YouTube channel. So
yeah,
it's amazing, man. It really is. And we are so blessed to get to do this, and we're gonna try and do more with you guys, and hopefully we're gonna go to some races with these cars, and hopefully you guys will get to come and we'll hang out, and it's gonna be fucking awesome. 2022 is gonna be an amazing year, and it's because of you guys. So thank you very, very much. And I'm gonna put 28s on my car and smoke Jackie's ass.
You wish.